want you to think about the last email you sent to your list. Did most people open it? Or are you avoiding checking your stats because the numbers are just not what they used to be and maybe a little depressing? If that second one hit close to home, I want you to stay with me because my guest today, I want you to hear this. She has a 56% email open rate. You heard me, 5-6, and that is with a list of 38,000 people. Did I get your attention with that? I think I probably did. And she is going to tell us exactly how she did it. Destini Copp, welcome to the show. This topic is perfect for my audience because my expertise is getting the right people onto the email list through organic visibility and relationship building. And your expertise picks up the ball from there by keeping those subscribers engaged and turning them into buyers. So we go together kind of like peas and carrots.
I love that. And Tracy, thank you so much for having me. I am super excited to be here today.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. So, I know my audience and they like to know how people got where they are. And for me, it was my 25-year corporate journey that started to feel really stifling. And that was the catalyst for me to jump into the online space and be an entrepreneur. But share with everybody, Destiny, what was the catalyst for you to be here and do this?
Yeah, I have a little bit of a windy road. I'm not going to take you all through the boring details, but I started out in corporate America like you, got bored with
Yes.
that, went into teaching online back in the dark ages at
Nice.
2005, did that for many, many years, got bored with that, then
Yes.
decided, you know what, I really want to go into entrepreneurship. And that's when
Yeah.
I started online. I actually still teach full time as an MBA professor. So I didn't
Mm.
totally let it go. But I
Right.
do have two brands that I manage today: Hobby School, which we're going to be talking about the email list that I have there. And then I have my personal brand, which is my Creators MBA brand.
Exciting. Well, then we're similar in that as well because corporate just didn't just started to feel like a jacket that was two sizes too small.
Mhm.
And I love that you didn't give up teaching because if that's something that we love, we don't need to be giving up the things we love completely because that fuels our energy, right? But when you made the leap, were you able to just leave corporate cold turkey? I wasn't. I had to use a step down approach to kind of gradually work my way out of it while my business made money. Were you able to leave completely or did you kind of do that same thing as well?
So I did kind of cut the cord. I had some savings, like saved up a little bit, but I did cut the cord and jumped in. But I also had that teaching on the side too. So it wasn't like, I was completely out there left on my own with no income coming in. So that did allow me to kind of ramp it up to where I am
Nice.
today. Yeah.
Nice. I love that. And you probably said this, but what year did you start your online business again?
2018. So I've been
Okay,
doing
so
it for a while. Yeah.
yeah, so we're almost neck and neck on that as well
Mhm.
because I started unofficially in 2018, kind of sticking my toes in the water, and then 2019 is when I established the LLC and I started building. So, oh my gosh, we have so much in common. That's really cool. All right, my audience is dying to know. I know they are. I can see them sitting on the edge of their seat. They're like, Tracy, get on with it. Ask her about the open rate. Ask her about the list. So, a lot of my audience at the time of this recording, it's summer. We're in July. And I know on the YouTube channel, this is going to go up pretty immediately. In my podcast, it'll be a couple of months down the road before this airs. But where we're sitting right now in summer, I am hearing from a lot of my clients and students, and even my business colleagues, that lists are not growing as fast as they used to. Unsubscribe rates are high, and open rates are starting to dwindle. But yours are at 56% on a 38,000 person list. Can you help us understand what is going on and maybe what we need to change?
Yeah, so just to kind of set the stage here, this is for my Hobby School brand. And in Hobby School, basically what we do there, we do online learning, virtual summits every single month in all types of fun hobby type niches.
Okay.
And I think, Tracy, between the time I filled that out and now, we're probably around like 41,000 people on that
Nice.
particular
Okay.
email list. So it is grown, and it has grown over this summer.
Mhm.
And just to kind of also put it in perspective for you, how we grow that email list is a few different ways. Number one, through collaborations, right? In these event events that we're doing, we bring in speakers every single month that speak at our summits. And we do a lot of promotion of them, but they're also bringing in their audience. So that's one lever that we have. We also do meta ads, so Facebook and Instagram ads to
Got
bring
it.
in people to grow our list. So those are basically what we're doing every single month. Obviously, we have people from our current audience, right, that are going to these events every single month. And
Yeah.
so that's basically how we have grown Hobby School. I've been doing Hobby School for a few years now. Around 2023 is really when we started ramping it up. So it's not an old business, right? It's a, kind of still a baby business, I would say there. And, in terms of the open rates, we definitely enjoy a very engaged audience there. We're
Yeah.
regularly emailing our list, right? We have fun things for them to do,
Mhm.
campaigns that we're running, and events that we're running. So I think that has definitely helped with
Right.
our open rates. We are also cleaning our list. So if people
Okay.
aren't opening our emails,
Uh-huh.
we obviously have a sequence in there to re-engage them. And we have people, contact us. Please don't take us off. I've been, busy this summer, or I've
Yes.
been sick, or whatever the case may be. Please don't take
Right.
us off. But so we know that engagement sequence is working. But if
Uh-huh.
people aren't engaging with our emails, maybe they attended an event earlier this year and they're like, the ones that we're doing now for whatever reason might not interest them,
Mhm.
we will, take them off our list. So we are doing that regular list cleaning.
Yeah, I know that is so important for everybody to do to help with deliverability for sure.
Yeah.
Let's back up for just a second because I think I have a question and I know my audience probably does too. Tell us for hobby school, who is the ideal client for that? Is it someone that is wanting to turn a hobby into a business, or is it someone who's wanting to start a new hobby? Who's the best person for that offer?
That it's a great, great question. And it's really just people out there who want to explore different types of hobbies. So, fun type stuff, whether that's sewing or quilting or pottery making. I'm thinking of the event that we have coming up in August, and we have all of those different types of workshops in there. So
Nice.
it's, it really just people who want to, explore different things. They have that creativity in them,
Yeah.
and they want to do different things to, kind of scratch that itch, if you would.
Got it. And so for like, let's say for the quilting one, the
Mhm.
quilting event, because I have clients that are long arm quilters that I've helped them build their online businesses. Do you hire the experts to teach it, or is it a summit where you've got 5 or 6 quilters that each teach a different thing, and then your people can opt in for their stuff? How does it work?
So in our events are free, and we have a funnel that is on the back end of that. So the events are free. The
Mhm.
speakers teach in these events. So generally, what we'll have is around 30 or so, sometimes less, sometimes maybe just a tiny bit more, but 30 or
Mhm.
so in those events. So we might run those events for like 3 days, if you would. So on day one, those particular presentations go live. Day two, those particular workshops go live, et cetera, et cetera. And we promote our speakers and their workshops and their free gifts
Yeah.
for about a week during that event. So we generally start promoting them very, very heavily, their free
Mhm.
gifts, the Friday before the event starts. Generally, our events go live on Tuesday, so they're live from Tuesday through Thursday, and we will continue to promote the speakers and their free gifts a few days after the event ends. So there's
Nice.
like a week there that we are doing a lot of heavy promotion of the
Yeah.
speakers. So the speakers speak in the event, and they also get paid
Ooh.
from the affiliate commission by,
Okay.
whoever from their audience comes
Uh-huh.
in. If they purchase the VIP pass, we pay 50% affiliate commission on the back end of that.
Got it. Okay. Do you mind if I ask, and you can tell me if it's none of my business,
Mhm.
what does it look like in terms of income generated
Mhm.
from having a business like this where you're serving an audience, but on with different tastes and interests, the sewing, the quilting, the pottery, all that. And then you're doing the events. What does that look like in terms of income for someone that's listening and is intrigued?
Yeah, generally from these events, and you can go to, I actually published one of our reports from our
Nice.
July event on my destinycop.com website so people can go look at it. I actually published it. We get about 30, anywhere from like 30 to 50,000 in top line revenue.
Nice.
Now, obviously, we invest in Facebook ads, meta
Yeah.
ads for the event. We have affiliate commission that we're also
Right.
paying out there, but that kind
Right.
of gives you an idea of what we would see there.
Interesting. Okay. And that report's on your website.
Yeah, that report's on my website. Yes, for the
Perfect.
July event that we just finished last week.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I love that you are willing to share that kind of information in the online space because there's, in my opinion, there's too much marketing about how you can come into the online space, put out an offer, make $1 million in 10 minutes, and not really have to do any work. Nobody talks about how much time it takes. And then nobody really talks about, they want to talk about the top line revenue, but they don't want to say, like, for example, if somebody says, "Oh, I made $100,000 in my launch," I'm like, "That's amazing." In the back of my mind, I say, I don't say it out loud, but I'm like, "I want to see your profit and loss."
Hmm.
Because it's so important to keep perspective, like you were saying. I love that you listed, but Tracy, that's the top line revenue, and then we have the expenses. I think that's really, really wonderful, and it speaks to your credibility and your ethics as a business owner. For the Creator MBA side of your business, can you tell us a little bit more about that, and what is the list for that and an open rate there?
Yeah, so the list for that is smaller. It's around 8,000. The audience for that are digital product entrepreneurs. So I've kind of taken everything that I've learned over the years and packaged that into two main offers. I have some other higher ticket type stuff, but two main offers. One
Mhm.
is the Newsletter Profit Club, which I go into a lot of detail on how to monetize your newsletter. And
Yeah.
that was based on a 6 month research study that I did,
Mhm.
which we can talk about a little bit. And then I have my Creators MBA AI Mastermind. And that's really just focused on helping digital product entrepreneurs get that consistent monthly revenue in their business, kind of similar to what I have done in hobby school. And I have very specific frameworks and systems that
Mhm.
I do, that I teach in there.
Nice. And so the ideal audience for that, would that be like coaches and course creators and service providers, or would it be somebody who has like a teachers pay teachers site and they're making templates and maybe doing some Canva templates and things like that?
That's a good question, and I definitely have people in my audience that have like Etsy or teachers pay teachers. Most of them, however, are people who are building their own kind of, their own kind of business, if you would, right? They're
Got
bringing
it.
people into their world. They're building their own email list,
Got it.
and it's really targeted to getting them that consistent revenue. So big
Yeah.
coaches, digital product entrepreneurs, membership owners, that sort of thing.
Got it. Perfect. That really, really helps me see both sides of your business. So for that list, around 8,000, what is
Mhm.
the average open rate there?
It's a little bit lower. It's around 50. I think the last time I looked, about a week or so ago, around 51 point something. I don't remember exactly, but it was a little over 51%.
That's amazing. I love that. And how is your like? Are you finding that that part of your list? Because that part of your list, I think, translates more to what my audience is experiencing. Being that most of my audience, they are coaches, they are online
Mhm.
creators. Are you seeing retention staying strong, or are you seeing a slide in the summer? What does that look like for that side of the business?
That's a good I know my list has grown over the summer. I have done a lot of I've done a lot this summer. I've done a lot of collaborations. I've
Yes.
just hosted my own personal event
Uh-huh.
in that particular brand. So it kind of ebbs and flows. To be honest with you, when I do an
Mhm.
event, I'll see a bigger increase. Some of those hang around, some of them leave. It's very typical of what you would
Yeah.
see in that sort of business. I would say that I do, again, in that business too, I put a huge emphasis on list cleaning because I think
Yes.
that's very important. Because if somebody's just not opening their emails, and there's been research out there, as you know, if they haven't opened your email in the past 3 months, they're most likely not going to do that anymore. So,
Yeah.
I don't want to have to pay for those. And it does, like, as you mentioned, it does hurt your deliverability if they're not
Yeah.
opening up your email. So you want people who are actually interested in what you have to say and who are opening up your emails. Those are the
Yeah.
people who are going to buy from you, right?
Exactly. Now, for that list, for the Creator MBA, do you also run ads for that audience?
I do generally for my events. So I just completed an event. I'm running. I have an event starting, or who's that's going to be happening in August. I was actually working on those Facebook ads before we got on the call here. I haven't hit publish on them, but I do run meta ads for that too.
Got it. Okay. Let's talk about some mistakes that we might be making as creators with regard to our list. What are some things that you find can really tank the numbers in terms of open rate and click rate, and even list growth?
Mhm. So I'll try to tackle a couple of these, and one by one. If I miss anything, you just let me know. So I think one misconception out there that, and I used to be this way. So no offense if anybody's feeling this way, we are hesitant to actually sell to our list.
Yes.
And, what I have learned, and I really kind of honed in on this when I did that research study, what I have learned is people who are coming into your world, especially now, they've done some research on this, especially now in the world of AI, and they have this abundance of information out there. When they're coming to their world, the reason why they're signing up for your list is because they have a major pain point and they
Right.
want to solve that pain point
Right.
and they want to solve it fast. So what I have learned is when people come onto your list, give them a way to buy from you, right? So they can
Yes.
solve that pain point. So we
Amen.
need to be more aggressive in selling, not less aggressive in selling. And
Right.
I think that's if I had if people don't hear anything else from this conversation today, that is what I would say to you.
Yeah. I agree with you completely. I remind my clients and students all the time that, first of all, if someone has joined your list, to me, they have landed in your living room. They've also said, you can land in my living room because when I feel like I email somebody, that's exactly where I'm landing. Like I am in their inbox. That is like I'm in their house, right? And they have raised their hand to want to be near me and learn more from me for a reason. And so when I have a student, when I have someone that I'm coaching and they say, "Well, my offer isn't selling, I need to create a different offer." I'm like, "Hold on a minute. Do we have a bad offer or do we have a visibility problem on the offer because nobody knows it exists?" And come to find out, and it's heartbreaking. I've had a couple of students. There was one in particular I will never forget. This is like 2 years ago. She said, "I think I need to change my offer." And I said, "Tell me why." Price point was good. The offer itself was good. It was based on research that she had done. It wasn't like she had just dreamt something up herself. And I said, "Okay, where are you promoting it?" "Oh, I post about it on social media about once a month." And I was like, I said, "We're going to fix that. That's not enough." I said, "Are you telling your list about it?" I said, "When was the last time you emailed your list about it?" And she sat there and she went, "Oh, probably 60 days ago." And I said, "Nope. Tomorrow, you're sending an email to your list. Talk about this hour." Destiny, she made $2,500.
Oh my goodness. Well, there you
I
go.
know. On a $97 offer. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, let that be a lesson to all of us.
Mhm.
You know, it's kind of like when they say, "Well, I have this free lead magnet. I think it's probably stinks because nobody's opting in for it." I'm like, "Hold on, wait a minute. Let's check the funnel because is it the lead magnet that stinks or is it the fact that nobody knows it exists and therefore they can't opt in for it,
Mhm.
right? So I love that you said that because people can't buy what they can't see.
Exactly. I think you
Yeah.
just hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah. I and the visual that I get when I think about this is let's say you and I went in business together and we created the most gorgeous spa. Just breathtakingly gorgeous on the inside. But on the outside from the street, the windows were papered over with black paper and there was no sign. How would we expect anybody to know there's a gorgeous spa in there, right?
For
They wouldn't.
sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I
goodness.
love that.
I love
We are
the analogy.
I am full of them. And my listeners all just probably said, "Yes, she is," because I get these visuals of things when people are talking, and it helps me kind of drive the point home. I think, at least in my brain. So, is there anything that you stopped doing in your email marketing that actually ended up improving your results?
So there's so much I could go into here, but I'm just going to touch base on this research study a little bit that I did a
Yeah,
few years ago.
please. Yes, please.
I was really struggling, Tracy, with my email marketing. I was following all the advice that, we've all been given out there for many, many years, which
Yep.
was, you know, uh, basically send out your weekly podcast in that I do
Yep.
podcast. It could be YouTube for somebody else or a blog for somebody else, but basically
Right.
send out your weekly nurture content. Do
Mm-hmm.
that on a regular basis on a Monday or whatever. And when you're ready to sell, your list will be ready to buy because they're warm, right?
Right.
Well, that just wasn't working for me. So,
Yeah.
I kind of put my marketing professor hat on and I went
Right.
out there and studied all of these newsletters out there,
Mhm.
and some of these newsletters had sold for millions of dollars, like
Wow.
literally just a newsletter. I'm like,
Yeah.
how in the world? Like, what are they doing that all of us in this coaching course creator niche has not have not figured out? And
Right.
based on that research study, I developed my two frameworks that I teach in the Newsletter Profit Club. One is the mini magazine, and I'll kind of talk about that, and the other is the teach and pitch. But with the mini magazine method, I want to take you back, and I'm going to date myself a little bit here, take you back to when you were maybe in high school and the Glamour magazine or the Cosmo magazine or
Oh,
whatever
yes.
was coming in your mailbox. I
Yep.
was so excited. I would go
Oh,
out
yes.
there, I would grab it, I would like dog eared some of the sections,
Yes.
like the quiz section or whatever. And what I realized is all of these newsletters out there, these kind of, journalistic type newsletters, they were basically set up like a mini magazine. And
Interesting.
the other thing that they were doing, which was so interesting to me, is they were monetizing those various sections. So
Ah,
they might
okay.
have had an affiliate link in one section. Obviously, they might have an ad in there, like a sponsor
Mhm.
ad, or they were promoting their membership or whatever,
Mhm.
just different ways to monetize. And what
Right.
I learned and what I changed in my email marketing was number one, you can talk about different things in there and you can point people to various ways that you want to monetize and make money from that newsletter that you're sending out.
Yeah.
So, and that really it really changed everything for me.
Interesting. Yeah, tell us what is in the mini magazine. What does that look like?
It really just depends. And I do in my personal brand, I do four different I'm trying to think, do I do five? I do four different ones every single week. So they're all set up differently. They're really kind of tailored to to the topic of that one. Like my Sunday one is more my flagship type one. I have a Wednesday one that's all about AI. I have a Saturday one that is an event one. So it goes into the events in that in the industry that's going on. And then my Friday one is all about the framework that I teach in the Creators MBA, which is my growth flywheel. It's kind of what I use to get that consistent revenue in my
Yeah.
businesses. So is you different you can set it up however you want. So,
Mhm.
like a quilting type magazine, they might have different, one might be a pattern, one might be, the tool, the tools section or whatever. I'm making this stuff up, but you can kind of see
Yeah.
how it's kind of set up like a mini magazine.
Yeah, interesting. So because you've got the 4 emails on 4 different things, that's the kind of the magazine, but it's split up into 4 parts. Is that correct?
But yeah, so let's just say that my Sunday one might have a section that might be talking about a podcast episode that I have
Uh-huh.
done, and maybe a section that's talking about a workshop that I have coming up, and
Mhm.
another section might be an article, kind of a hot tip type thing. So it has those three different sections in there.
Mhm. Got it. Okay, that's a really cool idea, and I want to point out for a second, y'all, Destiny just said she sends 4 emails a week, and she's not shy about promoting her offers to her list. And she's not shy about scrubbing her list of people that have not opened. So I think all of that is very important to hear because again, in my programs I hear, but I have a couple of students that have only been emailing their list once a month. One of them is a travel advisor and I said to her this I'm going to change her name. I said, "Pam, if I what we have to do is make sure that the minute somebody thinks of travel, they know they hear your name in their head and they know exactly where to find you in their inbox. And sending something once a month is not enough, in my opinion, as a coach. And so we crafted a way for her to get comfortable with because her response was, "Well, if I email them once a week, isn't that too much?" And I'm like, "Actually, no." Because if you think about it, companies like, what is it? Bath and Body Works, how many emails do you get from them every day? I think it's like 3 or
I was
something.
about to say you probably get 3 a day from them.
I know. And so I love that you shared that because we have, again, it goes back to what we talked about at the top. These people have raised their hands to want to be near us, to want to learn from us. And would you say, okay, let me ask you what you would say. If you had a student that said, "Destiny, I cannot email my audience that much. They will just leave, they will just unsubscribe." What would you say?
I would say you don't want them on your list if they're not gonna buy from you anyway, because 'cause you're paying for them in email marketing or email service providers, or at least for mine, are very expensive.
Yeah. Your list size, yes, they are
Mhm.
expensive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people listening that probably don't have to pay yet for the size
Mhm.
of their list, but they will as they grow.
Mhm.
And I love that you said that. I mean, because we want to attract as much as we or repel as much as we want to attract. So,
Exactly.
yeah, that's super important for everybody here. So, what would you say to someone who feels like their list has just gone cold? Their open rate has declined, nobody's clicking on anything. What could they start doing this week to revive that list? What would be something you could tell them?
I would say jump in there and just start emailing them. I'm gonna give you a story, and
Yeah.
literally, I had this conversation with this individual earlier today. She's in a peer mastermind with
Mhm.
me. She has a B2B audience, but also she has this B2C audience. And
Uh-huh.
I've been telling her your B2C audience is a gold mine. She's like, well, we've been going back and forth. She hadn't really emailed them much in the past year. She
Oh,
started
wow.
emailing them again, and she
Mhm.
made some new offers to put in those emails. She made $5,000 this month with
Wow.
3 hours of work.
I love it.
Just start
I love it.
emailing. That's what I would say. Just get in there. You don't even have to say, I'm sorry, I've been gone. They don't
Yes.
remember. They
Yes.
might not, they're probably not even gonna remember that they haven't seen you in
No.
so long. Just
No.
create
And
offers,
they're
email
not gonna care
them.
where you've been. Really. They're gonna be like, "I don't care. I'm just glad you're back."
Yes,
Okay, so
exactly.
my audience works really hard to grow their lists organically because I teach all organic strategies. I don't teach paid ads. That's not my wheelhouse. So, when somebody subscribes to their list, what's the biggest mistake you see us making in that first 30 days after someone has joined our list? What are some big mistakes that we could overcome?
So I would say that when somebody first joins your list, and the first email that you're sending out to them, you want them to click and you want them to reply back to you. That reply back to you is so important for email deliverability. A lot of times, what people will do, they'll have the landing page for their free gift where people put their name and their email, and then on the next page they'll give them the free gift. No, 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 no. You don't want them going there for your free gift. You want them
Right.
going back to their email. You need them to click that email and
Yes.
reply back to you. If you can get them to reply, like in hobby school, I just ask them, what's your favorite hobby? What do you
Yeah.
enjoy doing? And
Yeah.
you would not believe how many people email me back and tell me their life story, which is fun.
Yes.
I love that. But you
Yeah.
want them replying back to you. Or tell them to save this email in a special
Yes.
Gmail folder. I tell people to do that too. And that
Right.
is all of that is so, so very important. So that's what you want to do in the first email. What I like to do, and I got this tip from that research study,
Yeah.
is if they haven't clicked that email, that initial email, four
Mhm.
hours later, send them another email and say, did
Oh,
you miss this? And include
interesting.
the link for your free gift again. Because a lot of times people just
Hey.
get busy, they miss it. You
Mhm.
want them clicking, you need them clicking. So 4 hours later, send them another email. If they didn't click the first one, and there's ways to track that in your email service provider, and
Right.
then I always, because I generally will have Tripwire set up, and
Uh-huh.
what I like to do in that email sequence, I don't people don't want your life story. Generally, I know that's hard for a lot of us
Right.
to hear. But you can tell them a little bit about you, but really they want to solve their pain points. So why
Yes, they do.
retarget them? If they didn't purchase your Tripwire or whatever you have, why
Mhm.
not give them other opportunities? We make a lot of sales in hobby school from those retargeting emails that go out after that.
Nice. Nice. Okay, so, don't put so they opt into the for the free thing, and they opt into it on the landing page. Don't make it downloadable immediately on the next page, on that thank you success page. Send them an email that has the thing in it that they want to make them open the email. And then you're saying if they didn't open the email 4 hours later, send them another one that says, did you miss this or something like that?
Yeah, if they didn't click the email, like in the whatever, the gift or whatever you're sending to them,
Okay.
have it set up so your email service provider will track that click, and if they don't click that, then you wanna send them another email and say, basically, "Did you miss this? I don't want you to miss this, go
Yeah.
here to grab your gift."
Yeah. Okay. That's really cool. That's
Mhm.
really cool. Um, Anything else you want to share with my audience real quick that's like a hot thing you've been hearing this summer, or a really good tip that you share that pops up often that really makes the difference?
I would say, I'm trying to think, from this is not necessarily for the summer, but it really kind of goes around the theme that
Mhm.
we're talking about today. And that is sell to your audience. They are coming to you because they have a pain point that they want to get solved, and they
Right.
want to get it solved as soon as possible. And your paid products will help them get there faster. So, start selling to them what it's going to feel aggressive to you, but it's not going to feel aggressive to them. I
Yeah.
rarely have people email me. I mean, sometimes it happens in hobby school here and there with the volume that we have. They're
Mhm.
like, I don't like the sales emails, but very, very rarely do people
Yeah.
complain about that because they
Yeah.
want the opportunity. I have this the opposite. Some people contact us and say, I really wanted to purchase that and the timer ran out. Can I still get it for that price? Type thing.
I
I was
love
searching for
that.
my credit card and I didn't get it in time. So give
Right.
people the opportunity to buy from you because they
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah. Ah, love that. I do have one more question that I just remembered really fast because we were talking about when people get on your list, don't really tell them your whole life story, make it more about them. Do you believe in the welcome sequence thing of, and I've heard arguments on both sides. I've heard people say the welcome sequence needs, like, I opt in for your thing, then your welcome sequence with me to tell me about you and all that needs to be one email. But then I've had people say, no, 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 it needs to be 7 or 12 emails. And I'm over here going, I've got three in my welcome sequence, and I feel like that's too much. What do you do? And what's the, is there a right answer?
I think a lot of it just depends on you, your audience, what people are how people are interacting with you. I personally don't do welcome sequences. I just don't. I will give them a little bit information in that initial email, but I just don't do those welcome sequences. But I am also sending out, especially in my personal brand, I am sending out 4 newsletters a week. So I'm
Right.
kind of just dropping them into those emails that they're getting. I
Mm-hmm.
will do retargeting emails. So to
Mm-hmm.
retarget people that might not have purchased that particular tripwire type offer that was offered to them, but I don't do the long drawn out welcome
Yeah.
sequences that are people would define as nurture type welcome sequences.
Got it. Got it. Do you want to share with everybody where they can find you to connect with you?
Yeah, so the best place to go is my website, destinicop.com. I'm sure, Tracy, you'll put the link in the show notes, and I do have a free gift for everybody. So we talked about the mini magazine method in the podcast here today. So go check that out. I know that Tracy's going to have the link there for you also.
Yeah, perfect. Yes, I have everything in the show notes for you guys. And listen, I want to remind my audience that the whole heart of what we've talked about here is not only using your visibility, like I teach in Business Visibility Made Easy, it's my 8 week group coaching accelerator. What we teach in there is how to take the content and the visibility that you have to grow the list, bringing in the leads so you can have more conversations in the inbox and also in your DMs on social media. Just like Destiny was saying, we want people to reply back. We want to be in conversation with the people that have raised their hands that they want to be near us. And if we don't have those conversations, then the conveyor belt of our business just stalls and we end up not making any money and we end up wondering why. So I have loved this conversation so much because it's everything that I help my students overcome and work through. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to grab your spot on the wait list for the next round of Business Visibility Made Easy. YouTubers, this video is showing to you in July. The doors will reopen in October. Go to tracybeavers.biz/VIP and get a spot on the VIP wait list. Podcast listeners, the doors are probably now closed for this next round. So you can get on the wait list too, tracybeavers.biz/VIP waitlist. And you guys hear me say this every single week. Don't go it alone. Being an entrepreneur is freaking hard. Just like Destiny and I talked about, there's so much to learn. There's so much to test. There's so much to tweak. And nobody has the one right answer. And so that's all at once what's exciting about it and all at once what's frustrating about it. And some days you feel like your business is on fire and everything's great. And other days you feel like it is literally on fire and is burning to the ground. And that is the roller coaster of entrepreneurship. And if you feel like you're alone in that, you're not. Destiny and I are here to remind you that you're not. So get into a community of support and surround yourself with people that are doing exactly what we're doing, having conversations. I want you to have a great balance of the week and weekend. And I want you to remember that when one of us rises, we all rise. So that is why we have got to keep cheering each other on. Destiny, thank you so much again for being here.
Tracy, thank you so much for having me.